Good morning, everybody, and welcome to my channel. Today is a Floss Tube Extra. Today is my promised large whip parade. As of today, I have 195 whips. I'm not sure how many videos this will be. I'm sure it's going to be more than one because I don't want to make it a 4-hour video. But I have been trying to get this done for a couple of weeks. And a lot of these whips I have not touched probably since my last whip parade 4 years ago. But I know I have a lot of new subscribers, and so I thought I'll just show all my whips, whether I've worked on them any time in the last few years or not. I did go through these and bag them up and number them, and these are the ones I do want to keep. I have a bin full of ones I've given up on, at least for now. And so I just want to get started doing these and show everybody what kind of stuff I stitch on. Now, I did order me one of those project boards, but I didn't get it from Fat Quarter Shop. I got it from an Etsy seller, and the way it was packaged is like in one of those plastic envelope thingies. It got all bent up. See, it's like, you know, I'm still going to use it, but I mean, that really kind of disappointed me that this thing's all bent like that. But I was kind of worried about how it would be shipped because I know this is, you know, fragile. But I might get a piece of cardboard and like tape it to the very back of it. We're going to give it some strength later on, but we'll see how it goes. But anyway, I'm going to start on my whips that I keep on my cart at my stitchy spot in the living room. These are, well, not all of them. Some of these have been on this cart for a long time, and I haven't touched them. But these are my most recent whips that I've been working on. And so I'm going to start out with this one. This is one I was working on last night. It's called Purveying for These Times, and this is a long dog sampler. And this is for... It's still in the Q-snap because I'm going to work on it one more night. This is what I work on for my long dog leap day sal. This is, I started this, you know, last year on leap day. That's how far I've gotten. I worked on this little part right here last night, and I'm going to try to get a few more, at least 500 more stitches done tonight. So, that's my goal. Nothing happens, and I can have time to stitch. So, that's the first one. This one, I'm not going to take this one out of the Q-snap because, you know, it's a hard to get in and out. But this is my Jan Hauptmann 2025 stitch along. And the last couple of weeks, I'd say the last three sections have been really stitch heavy. I think last week I didn't even have, but I stitched on it from Friday to Wednesday to get it done. But because this right here is a lot of stitching, and this tree, oh my gosh, and I still got half of it that's going to come out Friday. But hopefully this will be the worst, the worst of it, as far as the, you know, stitch intensive. So I don't want to put it down because if I do and don't keep up with it, I'm going to end up putting it down, and who knows when I'll ever pick it up again. So there's those two. And here is one I started just a few days ago. This one is called Home of the Brave, and it's by Hands On Design. I saw this design on somebody's floss tube. I'm not sure who it was. But I thought, oh, I love that. So I ordered it. And I started it. There's how far I got. I wasn't too sure about the color of the thread because they're like more of a, the red's more of a terracotta, but it does actually look pretty good. And this has been on 32 count off-white Lugana, or antique white Lugana. So I'd like to get this one stitched. I mean, it went pretty fast. I think I might have stitched on it 2 days. I'm not sure how many stitches I got in it, but I did stitch it on like 2 days. I'm going to put this here so if I need it, I've got it. This is one I'm doing for my granddaughter, and it's from a shop on Etsy, and it's just called Unicorn. And there's the picture. I'm doing this one in like a hot pink. It's PR166. Pretty hot pink. But my granddaughter loves pink. She does purple too. And it's on a 32 count plum by Fiber on a whim. This is 32 count Lugana. And I'm doing this 2/2. I feel kind of slow or something today. So this is how far I've gotten. I'd like to get this done in time for her birthday, which is in November. But there's a lot of stitching left to it, so. But it's all one color. If I start working on it, I think I can get it done. I just have so many to work on, and I don't want to work on. That's the whole trouble with that stitch along, that Jan Houghton stitch along. I'm spending, you know, at least 70% of my time stitching that. And I really want to get to stitching some other things that have fallen by the wayside in the last few months. And here is Black Roses, Black Roses by Al Forrest Embroidery. This thing's kind of big. It's good for the big ones, but for the ones in the Q-snap. I'm using their thread. And I don't have my what you call it right here, so I can't tell you what the fabric is. Let's see. Maybe that one's a little too big anyway. Okay, here is Bessie's Sampler by Point de Marie. This is from Etsy. I'm doing this on 56 count. I started that one on 3/13/25. I'm doing this on Antique White, 56 count with HDF quince, the superfine thread. So, and here's how far I've gotten. Well, it was really a lot of fun, and it was not as hard to do this 56 count as I seem to remember doing 56 count before, but I did use some magnifiers instead of my prescription glasses that were a little stronger, and the lamp I'm using now is a little stronger than the one that I had the first time I tried 56 count. This is Le Grand Plachette à Fils, Amand Ami Pierre. I think it's Pierre. And it's 40 count linen by Vicki Clayton, and I'm using Perfect Red by Vicki Clayton. This is one of her new linens that she's got. It's called Derriere. And it's not as nice as say Swigert is, but it's not bad. And it's really inexpensive. So if you want to try her linens out, if you like linen, then I think you may like it. You know, you could try it. Get your piece. You don't have to be out too much. And that's how far I've gotten so far. Which is not a lot, but I think it'll be nice once I get going on it. If I ever do. I want to, though. I really want to do it. Okay, that is my first shelf. So, let me stick all these back in there. I pile them up too much. My husband says, you need to stop piling up. You need to take some of those back in your room because you're just got it so piled up that it's just going to start falling off. And eventually it does start falling off. Here's one I decided I'm going to start working on and finish this year because this is a stitch along from back in 2017. And it was called, it's Bands of Variation, and it's by Lakeside Needlecraft. I'm doing the rainbow, and I'm doing it with the variations thread, and this is band 10 of 12. So once I get this little section over here done, then I'll go down to band 11. And so I've been working on this. I've worked on this a few days this year so far, and I really want to get this done because it's languished long enough in my WIPs. which I have a lot of them that have languished a long time, but you know, I have to make decisions which one I'm going to focus on as far as my older ones, and so that's what I decided on. This is, it's by Verlandi Sisters by Stitchy Box. I'm doing a 40 count mallow with various Vicky Clayton threads, and this is what it looks like. I just decided I got this matte linen or silk from Vicky Clayton when she first started dyeing again. She just did a bunch of different colors and just sold them all as a set. And I just stuck them in this little bag here, and I just go in there and take out some and use it. I've only done one so far, but I'm trying to stick kind of with what they've got. You know, this one's like this one right here. So that's how I've done that one. So I've only got that one, but yeah, this one will go fast. I do have some small ones that I can probably get done because I haven't had many finishes this year. We had a few, 3 maybe 4, if that. But I've done a lot of starts. I did a lot of starts last year and a lot of starts last year. And I did a lot of starts, and I've done not nearly as many as I did last year, but I have had quite a few starts. This is one of my red box samplers. It's called Jessie Ormiston, 1887. I'm doing this with the DMC and the Call For fabric, which is 40 count Black Swan by Fox and Rabbit. I decided I just use the DMC on that because I didn't have enough of the other, you know, the Soie d'Alger, and I just didn't want to order it. So I did not order it. This is a big enough piece where I can actually cut it and use the other half for something else. I was a little iffy on whether I was going to be able to see good enough to do this, but so far it's actually worked out pretty good. So that's where I got on that one. And I started that one this year too. I have a card in here, and it tells the start date, which is 3/25. Here's a booklet, the book that I use to do a lot of alphabets, like for signing. Put my initials on there and a lot of numbers. This has been really helpful. And this is by Brenda Keys. And awesome book. If you want to design your own samplers, it's got a bunch of motifs in there that you could use to design your samplers. Okay, this is the Black Roses bag. This is a stitch along that I started. I don't have a picture for it. It's called 1900 Sampler. And I don't think I got a picture of it. And I'm doing it on a group, which I haven't really done anything with it for a while. I'm using 46 count Fiber on a Whim Cream and Sugar and DMC 498. And I haven't really gotten far on it. It's going to be big. It's like 500 by 500 or something like that. It's huge, but there's where I'm at. You'd be surprised at how many stitches that is. That's a lot of stitches right there. Well, you know, compared to how small it is. You know, it's not like thousands or anything, but it might be 1,000. I haven't added them up. But this has been kind of on the back burner. Not that I don't like it and I don't want to stitch it, because I do. I just, you know, that Jan Houtman is really taking my time. And here's one I need to take this one out of the darn Q-snap. Now this one is this is the Baldequin Birdies. This is actually Baldequin Birdies. And this is the 2025 Modern Folk Embroidery Stitch Along. And I'm doing this on 40 count Vertil. It's a September fabric of the month for dyeing for cross stitch, which are not named. And I'm doing Classic Colorworks Belle Soie Tulip. That's the thread I'm using. And it's really pretty. And I love the fabric. It really matches that thread really well. And I haven't got nowhere near, you know, where they're at. But, you know, I figured I'd start, and I, you know, work on it when I get a chance. I do need to take it out of that thingamabobby before it creases, unforgivingly creases. Here's another one I got on a Q-snap, and what is this one? Okay, this is another stitch along that was from back in the early 2000s, and it's by Martina Wienberg Designs. Tranquility Sampler Style. It's on 32 count Lugano with the call for DMC, and I'm doing 1 over 1. And there, that's probably about halfway. I think maybe once I get that part done, it'll be halfway. I mean, if I did this 2 over 2, it would be really big. But I started this out 1 over 1 back in the day, and I'd really like to get this one done. But I'm going to work on the bands of variation to get it finished before I start working on any more older sows or stitch along, or, you know, whips. Okay, that's number 2. I think I got a couple on the bottom, and then I'll be able to start on my regular ones. Okay. This is one I just started not long ago. This is called America the Beautiful by My Big Toba Designs. 40 count mallow with the call for Weeks Dye Works. And here's what it looks like. It's really pretty. And here is how far I got. I got the first row of those little scalloped thingy bobs. So, pretty nice. That's a nice one I could do for my, you know, patriotic stitching. Well, it looks like that must be the only one I had on that shelf. So, now my cart is done. It's time to get started on the, let me see if I can get this down here where I can reach it better. Now it's time to get started on my shelf. 17 minutes in, I haven't even started on the first shelf. Wow. Okay. This one is Roses Blanches, or Blank Roses, or White Roses. This is by Reflatus Wall. Here's what it looks like. I'm doing this on 16 count Misty Blue Ada with B5200 DMC. And this is going to be really pretty. And surprisingly, you can see it's been wound up for a long time. The stitches look really good. But I went all the way across and then down. This is as far as wide as it is. But that's what it looks like. And you see all those little, looks like lace. It's just, of course, it's backstitch. I'm not crazy for backstitch, but if it's not across other stitches, it's not too bad. That's another one I really would like to get some work done on. You know, that seems like that's the whole theme of people doing WIP parades. I say, oh, I got to start working on this one. I got to start working on this one. I got to get my thing. I'm going to put my ones in as I show them. Oh, because I do not want to get these mixed up. I want to keep them in order. To go back to my shelf. This is Secret Garden by Ship's Manor. And it's, here's what it looks like. Yeah, that's right. I haven't got much done. I think I might have just, and I'm using his fabric, which is Merlin. It's 32 count Lugana, and I'm using his thread. And I just got just a little bit done. I've got a lot that I don't have much done on. But, you know, it's there if I want to do it. You know, isn't it kind of funny how you'll have a bunch of WIPs and you'll be going along working on your whatever you're working on, and then all of a sudden you'll start thinking about an older WIP, and then you'll think, I want to get that one out and really work on it or get it finished. That's happened to me with several WIPs. I finished one earlier and I finally found it. So on my next update video, which I hope to do in a few days, it will be, I will show you that. Okay, this one is Mary Princess 1831 by Barrick Samplers. Here's what it looks like. Yeah. And I'm doing this on 28 count Monaco with a call for DMC. I really like Monaco. But, you know, I don't know how the newer one, newer Monaco is. I heard that it's different. It's not as good as the old one was. Of course, this is the old. That's how far I got. I think that's how far I was last time I showed it to you. But, alrighty then. Number, whichever one, 5, which is Arabesque by Jan Hicks. I started that. I love this one. Oh my gosh, it is so beautiful. I know I should have a picture in here of this one. But, oh, here it is. When I first saw this, I just thought, I have got to do that. And so I bought it, started it, and then, which I hadn't stitched out in a while. But, this is on 40 count Vertical called Dreamscape by Dying for Cross Stitch, and I'm using hand-dyed fibers, Old Maid of the Poppy. That's one of my favorite threads by Vicki Clayton, is Old Maid of the Poppy. It's a really pretty pink red, and this this fabric's got a lot of pink in it, and it just really, really looks nice. I didn't iron it with almost 200 WIPs. There's just no way I could have done that. But there's how far I've gotten so far. It's really, really pretty. That thread, it's kind of hard to tell what that thread looks like, but it is really, really nice. It's got a beautiful variegation to it. I love variegated thread, and I like to highly variegate it if it's certain kind of designs, but you know, certain things you don't want it too variegated. You just want the, you know, the motion of the thread, the color, just the way it just moves. It's just beautiful. Beautiful. I really like the way I've got these numbered now. It really makes it a lot easier. 6 is the Snowflake Sampler by Carolyn Manning. And I have not done hardly anything on this. And I've got it on a 40 count Dying for Cross Stitch Vertical. It's just a red one. It's DMC B5200. Here's what it looks like. I think I got one little bitty snowflake, or that little thing in the corner. I think that's all I got. No, I got a little bit more than that, but not much. It's a pathetic start, but it's a start. You know, when I stitched on this, I had a little bit of a hard time seeing that. I don't know why. I mean, I could see the black easier than I could see that. Now, I hadn't stitched on it in a while, and I do have those new magnifying glasses I've been using, so it may be easier. So, I might have to try to work on that one. Let's see how it goes. Number 7, the American Sampler by the City Stitcher. This is an old one. I think I started this on Stitch Mania. It's on 14 count platinum. It's all this old DMC, you know, in one of these. Oh, Charles Craft. That's how old it is. I haven't even seen these. I don't even know if they even make them anymore. But I started on one of the. I don't have the start date on that one. Oh yeah, 5/10/17. I started Stitch Mania in 2017, my very first Stitch Mania, and there it is. And I just cut the roof done. One thing about 14 count, it just seems like your stitches lay so pretty, but you know, I'm just not used to 14 count anymore. But I do want to do that. I mean, I don't want to give it up, because I think that one would, when I decide to do that one, it's going to go fast. This is Samplers by the Scarlet House. I'm stitching this on 36 count Vintage Country Mocha and a call for Gentle Arts. Here's what it looks like. beautiful sampler, and a lot of people have done this one. And I haven't got much done, but what you gonna do? That's how far I've gotten. I think next year I'm going to do a little something different. I do want to finish that Jan Houtman this year. And like I said in my last video, I may not start the next one. Well, who knows? Maybe she'll decide not to do one next year. You never know how people are going to do. Number 9 is Weatherwise by the Prairie Schoolers. And I got this off of eBay when it was out of print. And I'm doing this on 18 count ivory, Monaco. No, it can't be 18, it's gonna be 20. Yeah, it's 28 count. I only got 18 in there. With a call for DMC. 18 count Monaco. Crazy. And I just got a little bit of the border done. But I kind of got to thinking that I might want to change up some of the colors, use some overdye to bring it more up to date. But I may not. I may just do it as charted. It is a lot easier to do it as charted. But sometimes we don't do the easy thing. I just don't have the talent for choosing colors like a lot of people do. I just do not, I don't feel like I do anyway. I got all mine written down in this book, all my bags. So this is Spring Gathering by Willow Hill Samplings. And it is, let's see. This is a 40 count light mocha and the call for gas. And this is what it looks like. Right here. And I think this is the one that they had the wrong color down. I think, something. I can't remember. No, maybe that's not it. All I've got is that vine. Well, I think that the flowers, these flowers right here, are a weird color. I don't know what color they have it for. They're like a brown. So I think that they might misdid it or something. So I was trying to find something that would look good there, and I hadn't got around to doing it yet. That's what it is. But this is one that's small. It won't take that long to do that. I do believe I do have plenty of BAPs. Plenty. And I started a whole lot of huge ones last year. I know during the summer, I think for the whole year I might have started 50 some WIPs last year. What I was trying to do was do 66 for my birthday. And I didn't make it because I was 66 years old last year. And I'm not going to try to do 67 this year. My birthday is actually coming up, and I will have a birthday start. This is Agnes Otterson, 1903, by Needle Made Designs. And I'm using 40 count mallow with Victorian motto and DMC. And here's what it looks like. I did some changes out because of the color of my fabric and the color of the thread would, kind of went to, melted together. And you couldn't see it when I put it in there, so I changed it to some Victorian motto. This is another one I haven't worked on since my last, what the heck? Some of these threads on here. This is a thread from where that was serged. And this is how far I've gotten, which is not a lot, but it's a start. I changed the outer border, this pink, and the inside, it was like more of a brown. It's supposed to be brick, so I changed it to a more of a brick color. And I think one of the alphabets, I think it might be the blue. It was some kind of really light color, and I just changed it to that blue. It's been a long time since I've done it, but I believe that's what I did. Okay. Number 12 is Quaker Samplers 1830 by The Lady in Thread. And I'm doing this on 28 count ivory Monaco with DMC. And of course I got the pattern right in front of the picture of it, so you can see what it looks like. So here is what it looks like. I love these Quakers like this, so, and it's DMC, which I could change it if I wanted to, but, you know, I decided to just go with the DMC, you know. I like DMC. It's beautiful. I haven't got much done, but I got the first partial row of alphabets and a little bit of the border. So, that's another one I could get some good progress on if I took a day or two to stitch on it. But I'm going to stitch on the vein for these times tonight. That's my plan, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do tomorrow until Friday. This is number 13, and it's Rose Quaker by Weinberg Designs. I am doing this with 32 count helix on it's Picture This Plus with DMC, with the call for DMC. I've thought about changing it, but I said, well, I think maybe I'll restart it and change it. But I think when I looked at it, I thought, well, it's not got a huge amount done, but I don't know. It is pretty the way it's stitched, but this is a huge piece of fabric. It's a half yard, and I don't think I need that much, but so I don't know if I have it written down. Let's see, it's 251 by 333. So on 32 count, that may be more than a fat quarter. I'm not sure how big it needs to be, but that's how big a piece of fabric I used. You know, a few years ago, I was in the Baker's Dozen, which was through Needlecraft Corner and Crazy Annie's, and it was Picture This Plus, which Needlecraft Corner is doing another Picture This Plus this year, but I decided I better not get into it. I got so much fabric. But and I got a half yard for a year, and then you at the last month, December, you would get 2 pieces of fabric back then. Now it's called Baker's Dozen because everyone, well, a lot of people know that a Baker's Dozen is 13. I don't know that that's something that's ever talked about, you know, like used as anymore. Like younger people probably may not know what a Baker's Dozen is. Okay, this one is Friend's House Sampler by Maura Blackburn. And it is, I'm doing this on 32 count Rose Myrta Jobelin by Under the Sea Fabrics with the call for DMC. I love Maura Blackburn. That's what it looks like. I didn't get a whole lot done on this one, but I did get a little bit of the border. This Rose Myrta is beautiful. Now I prefer Lugana to Jobelin, but Jobelin's not bad. I like Jobelin, pretty good. Sometimes it's too soft, and it's like when you, if your tension can get a little bit iffy because it'll like match the threads together, and that's why I prefer something with a little bit more, not exactly stiffness, but firmness, a little bit more firm. Okay, number 15. Oh my goodness. 1831 Brick House Sampler. This is by Tree of Life Samplings. I'm doing 40 count light mocha with the call for Classic Colorworks. And this is what it looks like. This is one of those shiny photos. It's really pretty. I like that. I love this sampler, but you know, I love a lot of them. What can I say? And here's how far I've gotten. The last time I did a WIP parade, I haven't touched it since. Now I know a lot of people really would not be happy or comfortable with this many WIPs. And sometimes it does get overwhelming, even to me, because, you know, that's a lot. You know, I think about, here I am 66, in less than 2 weeks, on the 12th, I'm going to be 67 years old. And how many more, you know, years do I have to stitch? But then I think, you know, I enjoy it. And once I'm either not able to stitch anymore or gone to my stitchy store in the sky, then, you know, I won't regret that I took the time or had the ability to buy what I wanted and stitch it, and you know, just have all the WIPs I want. And if I die with 500 WIPs, then unfortunately for my family, I won't have to deal with that. They will. This is called Harvest Band Sampler. This is when I started, right when I first started stitching again back in 2016. And this is by Leisure Arts. The best for the love of cross stitch. And I'm doing this on a, it's called 28 count True Colors, called Sponged. And it's and I'm using the Call for DMC. I love this. I mean, this fabric's fun to work on. And that's how far I've gotten so far. I really like that. I started to have stitched on it in the last year or so. And that's another one I'd like to see done. And this is when I was actually putting the thread in my WIPs. Now I work from a master set of DMC. Now all my other thread I put in my WIPs. Like if it's gassed or in any kind of a silk. Because I don't want to have to worry about the dye lots. And I know that if I take it out and I have to put a different one in there, it could be a different dye lot and not be right. So I try to keep them with the ones that they are in. Okay, and this one is Admonition Sampler, and this is by Fay Ray Stitcheries. This is one that I've thought several times about giving up, but I haven't made the decision to do it yet. It's 18 count fiddler's cloth with the Call for DMC. This is a really old pattern. I wonder if it's got a date on there. Well, I don't see a date, but it's one of those big fold-out handwritten jobs. And, oh, it's a 1986 by Fay Ray Stitchery. And it's a little dated, the colors. And I thought about changing the colors out, which I think I may do that. And because all I've gotten, I think, is a little bit of the border. And I think I might just change it out to some overdyed because it's just, it does look 80-ish. Now there's the picture of it. I think I paid, it was $4 full retail price. And I think I paid like 50 cents for it in a store that, you know, cleared them out. That's all I got done. Now that border, I could do the border, but then I could go in with the different colors in there, you know, more like overdyed, and it would make it look so much more up to date. Because the design's really pretty. It's just the colors are so a little 80-ish, which that's not totally a bad thing, you know. It was pretty, but you know, we got spoiled with this overdyed, and it's silks, wow, silks. What can I say? This is 3 Things Sampler by Maura Blackburn. I'm doing this on 18 count cream Ada with the Call for DMC, and you know, when I first started stitching again, I did a lot of Ada, which I still do some Ada. Most of the time when I do Ada is 20 count. So, first thing I've dropped. And I don't want to come get picked up. There we go. It's my card. I don't want to lose my card. And here's what it looks like. And this is one of those, I've got the DMC with it. And there's the picture of it. This is a pretty big sampler. I don't know how many what the stitch count is right offhand, but it's on, yeah, I already read that. So, it's a pretty big piece of fabric. But here's what I got done so far. Looks good. I like that. And 18, I like 18 count, and I like, but I really, really like 20 count. 18 count I still use two threads on. But 20 count, I use 1. Now, I gave my sister a pattern. You know, I gave her a pattern to stitch, and I gave her some 20 count fabric, and she does not like using 1 thread. She likes the loopy thing, loop start, which I do too, but, you know, what you gonna do? I think that when you use 1 strand of thread, it lays, it lays better because you ain't got to worry about them twisting together and all that. This is Pandemic by Long Dog Samplers. And we all know about the pandemic. It's a beautiful pattern, and I don't have a picture, but I'm doing this on Victorian model 40 count. I'm not sure what the colorway is of it. Now I'm doing Threadworks 11383, which is a blue. And I haven't got very much started on it. I think I just got a little bit of the border. Because I wasn't, you know, I'm not really sure if I'm gonna do that and then add some other colors. I might do a lighter blue in with it, but the blue is really pretty. When my hair was sewn into it. That's all I got done. That's like 300 stitches. But you know, I love me some long dog. I've never finished one, but I love them. I've got several, you know, WIPs. You will see. I think this is going to be a very, very long undertaking because I'm only on number 19 and already 40 minutes in. Oh my gosh. But I will break it up. I will not try to force anyone to watch a 6-hour video, which I can't force anyone to watch anything, but you know what I mean. Mary Elizabeth Macmillan, 1869 by Hands Across the Sea Samplers. This one is when I started in 2020, I do believe, because this is one that, oh, here it is. There it is. I don't have a date on here, but it's 40 count vintage country mocha with, I used the DMC for that. And I would like to see if I got a picture. Here's the picture. This is the one that she had on the, that she charted, stitched when the world stood still in 2020. And I started it in 2020. But I thought, oh, I'm going to finish this. I think this is the one I started for Sampler September, the 1st of September, 2020. That's when I started this one. It's really pretty, and I wanted to finish it, but you know what? I didn't stitch it but a couple times. And so what are you going to do? Well, I might have stitched it more than twice because I've actually got a pretty good start on it. I hate how wrinkled some of these are, but what you going to do? That's what I got done. It is really beautiful. I think I did have to change out maybe one of those threads. I think I changed out this color right here. Even though it's still light, you can at least see it. I love that. Why oh why? And I just bought another one that I want to start for my birthday. It's called, I think, Jane Hearth. Really colorful. Now I'm debating on whether to order the silks for it, and I hadn't really made a decision because it takes quite a few. I want to, but you know, it's hard to rationalize when I got a gazillion threads in my thread, you know, collection. This is number 21, Anatolia, or Anatola, or you know. I'm not good at pronouncing names. Ink circles. Very pretty. I started this back in, I don't have a date. Oh, 5/5/17. So I started this in Stitch Mania in 2017. 32 count cream Lagana. The call for Carrie's Creations Silks. That's what I'm using for. This is one that actually calls for that the Carrie's Creations is the thread that they use. Now you can't even get Carrie's Creations because she's out of business, which is sad. But you know what you gonna do. And that's how far I got. Not very far. I like this fabric though. I love Lagana. I'm not a snob when it comes to fabric. I like Ada, Lagana, linen. Just give it all to me. I'm on the Be Stitch Me fabric of the month. And for a long time I was getting 20 count Ada. Because I don't have that much 20 count Ada. But then I switched to linen for a couple of 40 count linen for a couple of cycles, and then the last 2 cycles I switched to 40 count Vertil, which that I love Vertil the best as far as for 40 count. Heritage Birds by Cliffside Stitches, which I really like. I like those his or her. I'm not sure if it's a man or woman designer. This is 30 count Mariner's Map by Legacy Linen and DMC thread. And let's see, do I have a picture? I should have a picture. There's no guarantee though. Nope, no picture. But anyway, here's where I got. I think there's a picture somewhere. That's just the first little section. And there's a bird, and then there's another little square, and then a different bird. And it's really pretty. And I started this a long time ago. Let's see if I got a date on this one. Nope. It has been a while. This is Saint Flaveur, long dogs. Another, you know, hard for country me to pronounce. I think that's really pretty. But I didn't realize when I bought it, it had a lot of backstitch. Lots. Mostly in that first section up here. But, you know, it won't be too bad. I'm doing this on 18 count antique white with DMC. And this is one of them, I think it's DMC fabric because it's got that pink and shears thing. And it is really stiff. I think I'm going to redo this. I think this fabric is just so darn stiff. You see it? I mean, it's like I can't even hardly fold it. And that's all I got done. Well, son of a gun. Son of a gun. Son of a gun is a pistol. That's all I got done. But I think this could be a restart. Because I don't know that I want to stitch on that fabric. I've got so much fabric. Why stitch on something I don't like? This one is Quilt Sampler by Candamar Designs. Here's another one that could... I mean, I went through and got rid of a few. And, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. This is another old one. It's one of those handwritten ones. I like it, but it's very dated. And I'm doing DMC with 18 count Ada. I think this one will probably most likely be a give up. So, but I'll just next time I start a new, if I decide to do it, what I'm going to do with these because they're numbered, the bags are numbered. I'm going to just switch what, you know, in my thing, what's in it. It's even got the DMC in there. Yeah, I believe this one is definitely going to, most definitely, probably going to be a give up. I can't believe I left it in my, I can't believe I left this in my, you know, things to start with. This one is Midnight in the Garden by Sampler Cove. I really love this one. And it's on 40 count Vertical by Stitch Me called Peanut, and it's the Call for Vicky Clayton Silks. And this is I guess what you would call a clocks sampler. And I have discovered that's another one that I really like. Just about any motif sampler is going to be my favorite. Oh, there we go. I don't like making lots of noise, but sometimes it can't seem to be avoided. And like these long motifs like this are called clocks samplers. And I think they were like, I think they used to be like for like crochet or knitting, or where they like make designs on socks and different things. But it calls for Vicky Clayton silks. And I bought the silk pack and I started it because I was wanting to get this thing done because I love it so much. And there we go. I hadn't done it, stitched on it since my last video. I mean, my last WIP parade. Which, as we all know, was a long time ago. Well, if you're a returning viewer from when I used to make videos, yeah. And it's still up if anyone wants to go look at my older videos. They're still on my channel. I made them private for a while, but then I made them all public again. So. This is Winifred Glark, 1892 by Pineberry Lane. I thought this one was really pretty. I like it. It's on 32 count vintage country mocha with the call for DMC. And here is, oh, this is a picture of the actual reproduction. I like that better. I think that looks better when you than the original. I mean, you know, it comes from the original, but it photographs better. And here is my start. So, now, all these news updates, you know how that goes. I need to turn that off. It's just crazy stuff. Crazy. 27 is the Magpie Tree. This is another one. This is by Maggie G Designs. This was a kit I bought on Etsy a long time ago. Well, 2017. And I started it with the DMC. I think it's a 28 count, either Lagana or... And I started it, and I haven't stitched on it since my last video. Or my last, you know, update. Not update, but, you know, WIP parade. 24 count Ivory Lagana. Call for DMC. And all I got is the very top. It's big. Well, at least I got a big piece of fabric with it. That's all I got. The two little birds in the center of the tree. So... I need to either get some stitches in some of these or something. That's just kind of ridiculous. She's still got an Etsy store. I don't think she sells kits anymore. I think she sells charts, but not kit. Just, you know, just the charts. This is Cardinal Points by Long Dog Samplers. I'm doing this on white 25 count Lagana, 1/1, with the call for gentle arts. This is what I saw. When I saw this, I loved it because I love colorful. But then when I stitch it, it's just like, oh my gosh, I like color changing. Ugh. But it's really pretty. The only thing I got done on this was the very corner. Very corner. That's it. Pretty though. I do really want to get it. I was going to stitch it on something different, like 18 count or something, but I was afraid that I didn't have enough thread because it's charted for 1/1, and I did not want to buy more thread because I was afraid, because that's an older gast, and I didn't know if it would match up if I got some of the newer, you know, thread. This is, let me figure out which one it is, 29. The pink, it's pink, the Broken Star collection. Did I start this one? Yes, I did. This is Carolyn Manning. This is on 20 count Ada Sand with the call for DMC. I love her, Broken Star, and the other one that's Star. And I love pink. I started this and worked on it one night and then put her away and haven't worked on her since. I started this one in, it was not been that long ago. Of course, I didn't write it down. It was, I think last year. That's all I got done. I didn't even stitch on it during Manning May. Which, you know, I didn't really do Manning May. I did do some... Oops, that zipper's broke. I did do some starts in May, but... You know, Eckwork Quaker Black, which is by Vivian Powers. And I'm doing this on a 40 count Mystery Linen by Vicki Clayton. This is her older linen, which is a little thinner. And I'm choosing the threads as I go, and they're by Vicki Clayton. I got a bunch of different threads in here. And here's what the design looks like. I like it, but I didn't want to do it all in black, so I started it to... Yeah, this is a pretty thin fabric, and it's really wrinkly, and I don't know. And I did iron it, and not this time, but I did iron it before, and it's just wrinkled as heck. But oh, I guess the very first part at the top, which that's gonna be really pretty. I like Vivian Powers, which is Vivsters on Etsy, and in the Silk app. I did one of hers from the Silk app called Raven Quakers or Black Raven, something like that. I have shown it on my channel, the finished design. It's really pretty. All in black. Oh man, it's not even halfway done this thing here, and it's already full. That one bin's already full. And this is Louisa Coulamore by Hats. Hands Across the Sea Samplers. I 32 count lamb's wool Jobelin and Carrie's Creation Old Salem Red Silk. I started this back before I was brave enough to try 40 count. And it's not super huge. It's 246 by 280. It's one of the smaller of the Bristols. And I even contacted Nicola to help me figure out how many skeins of thread I need. And I hope I have enough because it's not available anymore. And these normally I'll have like AB on here. But you will be proud of me because I've gotten some work done on this one. There's more than A and B on there at least. I still have a long way to go, but I got some more done. I really love it. And that thread looks really good on this fabric. I'm doing 2/2 on this 32 count. It's going to be big when it's done because it's on 32 count, but we'll see what happens. I do want to get this one started. I mean, worked on it some more soon. And this is Mary Ann Stinson, 1859 by Mary Wynn Farms. This is one I'm doing with the Gast wools. And I'm using 32 count Wexford linen silk weaver in the colorway of wheat. And here's what she looks like. This is another one I haven't stitched on since my last WIP parade. But it's not for lack of really wanting to, but you know, there's just so many to stitch on. What can I do? But this is how far I've gotten on this one. And when I did stitch on it, it didn't seem like it took me long to get that much done. So, hopefully, I will think about it one day and say, I think I'm going to get that one out and stitch it. What if I have a date on there? Nope. Oh, 1/22/19 is when I started this one. This is Schoolhouse Quaker by Stone Street Stitchworks. I started this 2/4/20. And this design was kindly gifted to me from the designer. And I'm doing this on Vintage Country Mocha 20 count. I changed the colorway up to blues. I'm using I'm using DMC, and I'm substituting the browns for blue because I've gotten into a blue kick in the last few years. And so this is how far I've gotten so far. I've got a long way to go. Every time I say a long way to go, I think, oh, that's a long way to go and a short time to get there. Smokey and the Bandit. If anyone remembers that old movie with Burt Reynolds and Sally Fields. My ex-husband was a truck driver back, you know, in the 70s and 80s. He quit when we got married in 1980. So I guess it was the 70s. And he loved that movie. I bet when we got it on VHS, and when we got that movie, oh my gosh, we recorded it off of TV because back then you couldn't buy movies. If you bought a movie, it was like $150 or something for one movie. But we recorded it. He watched that over and over and over again. He loved that movie. Sampler D. Anastasia. by Reflate Swap. I love this sampler, but you would never know it by how much I've gotten accomplished, which is not almost nothing. Beautiful. And I'm doing this with DMC. I switched out one of the colors. I'm doing this on 28 count 1/1 because this thing is huge. It is, well, you know, really 345 by 328. So it's not as big as I thought. It'd be really big on, you know, over 2 on 28 count. But, you know, I could do this on 40 count and it'd be good. This is all I've gotten. So there's a chance I could go back and start this on 40. But, you know, that's really cute. So that's all I've gotten. Oh, my gosh. But I enjoyed that when I enjoyed it while I was doing it. And I hope I'll enjoy doing some more in the future. This is another Bristol. This is by Quiltify Designs. I'm using 28 count Monaco in DMC 321. It's a large, very large sampler. And it's 472 by 422. You can say he doesn't do anything by half measures. And I'm doing this on 28, did I say 28 count? Yeah, 28 count Monaco, yeah. I already told you that. And in this one, I think I still only have A and B on it. Yep. No, I got C. I got A, B, and C. So, spam. A, B, and C. 1/1 on 28 count. I think it looked really pretty, you know, that small, but let's see. We'll see what happens. And this one is 36. Though He Seemeth Sleeping by Lucy Bean. And I'm using 46 count Christmas Cookie by Dixie Sampler. And the Call for 103s. I saw this. I think it's beautiful. What stopped me on this one? This is really shiny. What stopped me on this one is that light thread. You can even see on here that it looks like there's no alphabets there. And this sampler takes a lot of that cream. And it just, you can't even, I mean, I couldn't even probably see it well enough to stitch it on there. And you can see the first letter, which is the G. Right there. And I haven't decided whether I'm going to take that out and switch it for something else. Or just continue with it. Because you can kind of see it. More so on the computer than you can in real life. But I might just go with it. That's one reason I haven't. That's one of the main reasons I haven't stitched on it anymore. Because I couldn't make a decision. When I have to make decisions like that, sometimes I'm like the deer in the headlights. Like, I don't know what to do. Which way should I go? Oh, there we go. This is number 37, which is Flower Quaker by Cross Stitch by Verbena. I don't have much done on this one. This is done on 16 count oatmeal with the Call for DMC. This is really pretty. I think I got just a little bit of the border done on this one. Yeah, that's all I got done. A little bit of the border. I guess it'll do good to unfold them and fold them a different way. That's all I got done. That will be right pretty when it's done. If it ever gets done. And this fabric. All wrinkled up. I have a lot that, you know, if I stitch them, I could get some finishes. Oh, man. I don't know if they'll all fit in that bin or not. This is Cirque de Carew by Ink Circles. I started this on December, or not December, but June the 5th, 2018. Not 1918, please. And I saw a floss tuber, which she hadn't made videos in years, and I saw her stitching that, and I thought, oh, it's so beautiful. This is with the Call for Carrie's Creations, which is called Epiphany. And it's a beautiful variegated blue, purple, and I started this on 32 count. I think that's the count it calls for and tells you how many skeins you're going to need for 32 count. I think I got a couple extra. So, I think I should be good. And, but it's going to be pretty big, I think. And, you know, I'm slow. And all I got done is just this little bitty corner. But that thread is really pretty. I mean, you really can't totally tell. But it's beautiful. I wish I'd have gotten a bunch more of that thread while she was still doing, you know, dyeing thread. I think this is all I got is what's in here. Ivory, 32 count ivory. Lugana. Okay. This is a Tsunami sampler by Weinberg Designs, which there's no picture for it because it was a freebie. That all you had to do was donate to the Red Cross or the Salvation Army for the relief for the tsunami that hit Indonesia in 2004. Killed way over 100,000 people. I mean, you know, that's, to me, that's just, I mean, it's mind-boggling that many people lost their lives. I mean, you think, I don't know. I just can't even imagine. Can't even imagine. And you know, it's a terrible thing. And that's as far as I got. That's the only thing. Last time I showed you, that's where I was. I have a lot of her WIPs though, because I do really like her designs. She hadn't done anything in a while, like a good few years now. So I don't know if she's totally retired or what. This is Autumn Bird by Satsuma Street. I did this 5/1/24, so it's a pretty new one. 32 count Lugana light taupe with the Call for DMC. And here's what it looks like. And here is how far I've gotten. Got the bird for the most part done. And that bottom thingamabobby that he's standing on, the branch, whatever it is. That's one that if I really worked on it, I could get that finished in a short amount of time, probably. Here's another 2024 start. Phoenix sampler. I started this in July 24. July 24. And this is from Tinsel Cross Stitch from Etsy. This is not a very good picture of it. But I'm doing this on 18 count navy with the Call for DMC. And this navy is so stiff. This is all I got done so far. But it looks good on the navy. I thought when they showed the picture of it, which it printed up blue, that it was black, but haven't got much done. I'm getting close to the end of this first bin, or the first shelf. And this one is Anne Grimshaw, 1818 by the Scarlet Letter. I love the Scarlet Letter. This is the design. And I'm doing this on 40 count Country Mocha with Soie d'Alger 136 and 134. I have gotten a little bit done since I last showed it, which has, you know, been like a long time ago. But I haven't got a lot done, but I've gotten a little bit done. This is a huge piece of fabric. Huge. That kind of looks like Country Mocha, but kind of doesn't. But this is what I got done. This is only the main color. I haven't got any of the accent coloring yet. But that's a very small start compared to how big this thing is. But you'll see in my WIPs I have several scarlet letters. And several of them are like really, really huge. Very, very bad. I mean, I got some full coverage scarlet house. Or scarlet letter. You know, at one point, I used to always say, full coverage is not for me. But the main thing about full coverage that I don't like is a confetti. Now, you give me something that's like block stitching, I'll go for it. And so, that's what I did. I got several, like that peacock, unicorn, and badger. That's one of my WIPs. Haven't got very far in it, but it's one of my WIPs, so you will see it. And this one is Merrily, Merrily, We Welcome Spring by Blackbird Designs. This is another one that I haven't picked up in a long time. 40 count country mocha with called for overdyes. And I love Blackbird. I've seen this one finished. It's beautiful. And when I started, I said, oh, this is so much fun. I don't know why I put it off so long. And then, this is all I've gotten done. You know? But there's always the new thing calling my name. But I'm not going to feel bad about it. You know, like I said. I will enjoy my stitching. Whatever I stitch. I kind of like having all these WIPs in a way. 45 is, it's Jesus, and it's like a silhouette. It's called, by a designer called Peter Pong, and he's from Etsy. And I don't think there's a picture. I'll show you, kind of show you the, that's what it looks like. And I'm doing this on 32 count white mocha Belfast linen with silky filaine, Filaine, which is almost like a wool. It's black. I think it was, I don't know who said this. Maybe it was Artist Designs. It was a floss tuber, but several years ago was talking about this thread, and it's thicker than DMC, and it's like a matte thread, and it covers, you know, really well. I mean, this is on one thread over 2 on 32 count, and it is excellent coverage. I mean, you can see how well it covers. And so this is another one that's like, I could zip through this thing pretty fast. You know, if I decided to zip through it. So 44 is the Red Deer Sampler. Well, it's not the Red Deer Sampler, it's just the Deer Sampler. I don't know why I wrote the Red Deer Sampler. But this is one I got from one of those Jack Stash boxes from Sassy Jacks. You know, I still have not been able to get a hold of them about the Fabric of the Month Club, which I paid for in February. Got a order, you know, a paid invoice receipt, and I've emailed them several times. I guess the next thing is going to have to try to call them. And there it is. I'm doing this on 40 count mellow with this Weeks Dye Works, I think it's Lancaster Red. And it's the one that they sent with it. It's the 2-stranded. And I'm doing I did the deer 2 strands. And then I realized that, oh, well, I shouldn't have done the deer 2 strands. And I thought, well, if that's the only deer, I'll just, you know, that'll be good. It'll stand out. And I looked at it. And I even told in my video, oh, that's the only deer on there. It's this deer right here. I totally didn't even, there's that great big deer right there. But, you know, if I have enough thread, I may wait to do that last. But if I have enough thread, I'll do that over 2. Or 2 strands. Because the deer's on 2 strands and that little flower is in 1. And that's all I've gotten done on that one. I haven't done any more on it since my last WIP parade. But she's pretty and I like her. Okay, Christmas Town Sal by Ship's Manor. They have a lot of old Sals. And of course, I don't have a picture for it because it's a Sal. I'm doing this on 16 count 8, the Ship's Manor. It's called Let It Snow with the Ship's Manor's thread. And I haven't got hardly anything done on it. Just a part of the first part. This is another one that could possibly be a give up. I mean, it's pretty, but, you know, what am I going to do? But it's still in my WIP. Yeah, WIPs, so we'll see what happens. I do have a wheel that's got all my WIPs on there, and I may just start spinning it. See if I can get some work done on some of these I never think to pick up. This is Ann Niven. This was a, I think this was a stitch along by Ship's Manor also. And I'm doing on 30 count lamb's wool Jobelin with the Ship's Manor silks, which I don't really care for their silks that much. I like their cottons a lot better. And I didn't get much done on this. This is all I got done. Did I say 30 count? Yeah, I told you what fabric it was. This is the Bluebird Style by Ship's Manor. It's 16 count Ada. It's called Merlin by Ship's Manor with the Ship's Manor's threads. And this is going to be really pretty if I ever get any work done on it. I like that Merlin pretty good for certain things. My husband would not like that. Sometimes I try not to stitch on things he wouldn't like or stitch with threads he wouldn't like. And other times I think, you know, this is my hobby. I'm going to stitch what I like regardless of what anyone else thinks. You know what I mean? It's mine. And he paid for it. Well, I get a check too, so I paid for some of it. But, you know, he doesn't care what I buy. 32 count mummy wraps. It's called A Love Story Sal by Ship's Manor with the Call for Ship's Manor cotton threads. Now, I loved stitching on this 32 count, but I don't like that grungy look. That's just not to my taste. A lot of people love it. Like Grandpa's sleeve on Next Jew Designs. I mean, a lot of people love that, but for me, I would not want to stitch on that. I don't care for the look of it. And that's as far as I got. That's the first part. That's not even all the first part, I don't think. It could be, because I hadn't looked at it in a long time, the pattern. I think there's 6 parts to this Sal. So, might not take a long time to do that. Just a few more. One, number 50, Merry and Bright Sal by Ship's Manor. This one is another one that's All Souls Night is the 16 count fabric, and it's the Ship's Manor threads. Where is it? Okay, that's a dark one. Like almost, it's a black. And this is all I got done, but I like that fabric too. I actually bought a piece of this recently. I was thinking of stitching that Jessie Ormiston on it, but I ended up going with the call for Black Swan. Yeah, I'm thinking that once I finish the Verland, what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to pick one old Sal at a time and just stitch on it until it's done. That's my thought process anyway. This could be the next one because it's close to being done. This is Seasons Change Style by Ship's Manor. And this is on a 16 count Ada. It's called Ancient Bark with the Ship's Manor's threads. Now, my husband, he's already told me he does not like this fabric. Which, I'm probably not that crazy about it myself. But that's, you know, when I got the Sal, I didn't know what the fabric looked like. But even so, it's, yeah, it's not bad. I just got the very bottom part to do. It's pretty close. One more section. That's really pretty. But if I decide to do this and frame it or whatever, I'll hang it in my room in here. You know, I got wall space in here. Even though my wallpaper's ugly than crap. It's all busy. I'm not crazy about busy wallpaper. 52 is Weaver's Bird Sal by Magical Sals, or Magical quilts, or man, she used to put out sales every year. The last year that she put sales out, yeah, she put out like a bunch. She does like a 25 by 25 of the month, a 50 by 50 of the month, ornament of the month, then the big band sampler sale. And when the COVID hit, I think she got COVID, and she got that long time COVID. I mean, she was really sick for. She might still have the effects of it, and she was really sick. But she's I'm not sure. I think it's in the Netherlands somewhere is where she's at. But her blog is still up with all the patterns on it. So if you're interested in any of her stuff, then you can go find it. But if I'll try to find it and maybe try to post a link to her blog. That's as far as I got. That's like maybe 3 parts, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure which part I'm on. But this is, I didn't even tell you what I stitched it on. I got all these things in here. 18 count Ada by Dine for cross stitch, which no name. Carrier's Creations Silk Royal Blue. That's what I got on that one. One more in this bin. And then I'm going to pause you and start the next shelf. 53, which is Weaver's Animal. Wait a minute. 52. Oh, this is a different Weaver's Animal Band Sampler Sound. And this one, the other one, was Weaver's Bird Sound. This one's on 18 count Vintage Country Mocha with Silks for You PR148, which looks like that. And it's really pretty stitched, that thread. I've just got some of the border done. I ain't done nothing on this in who knows how many years. But I got all the parts because I went through my computer and made sure I had all the parts for these sales. If I didn't have the parts and couldn't get them, I did away with them. So, all right, that's the last one from this shelf. That was 53. 53 on the first shelf. So, I've got 3 more shelves to go. So, I'm going to pause you and I will be back. Hello. We're going to continue on with my WIP parade. This is actually the next day. I had some issues yesterday, so I didn't get my parade done. So I'm going to try my best to get all the rest of them done today. So without further ado, on July the 2nd, 2025, I'm going to do the rest of my mid-year WIP parade. Okay, this one is from Modern Folk Embroidery. It's the AKGIT 1833 Verlandi sampler. And I love this. Beautiful. Billions and billions of stitches. And I'm doing this on... Well, it's a Victorian Motto 40 count classic linen. I'm using the Roxy Floss Co. Thread that she actually dyed for this sampler, which I think is still available. It's called Verlandi. It's a brown black, beautiful. You know, a lot of people wanted theirs in black, but I thought, well, I'm gonna buy it, and I bought it, and it was kind of not inexpensive. So I thought, well, I'm gonna use it, and I think it looks good. I really like it on this fabric. Here we go. There. I haven't got much done. I'm going to try my best to get some work done on this one in the not too distant future. But you know how that can be. Sometimes it's just like you make plans and they just go by the wayside. I know that's how it happens for me a lot. But you know, a lot of it's all in just what we get determined to do. So, that one's going to go there. Let me pull my bin back a little bit. Okay. 54 is Fantasy Quakers 2017 Sal. And this is, since it's a stitch along, I don't have a picture for it. I'm doing this on 22 count fabric with DMC thread. We chose our own thread. And I, got mine off of the group. Somebody showed these colors, and I thought it looked really nice. The one she picked out, so I used those too. And I even next said, I hope you don't mind, and she didn't seem to mind. This is from 2017, so that's quite old. This is the Landon Randon Quaker Cell from 20, no date. 40 count mallow with DMC 115. So it's several years old. And but I haven't really gotten a lot done, but it's more than a few stitches. I think it's beautiful. I love this. And I hope to hopefully get some more work done on this soon. All the parts are in here. I made sure I downloaded and printed up all these parts. Because when you have a mystery sampling like that, if you do not make sure you have those parts where you know where they're at, or either print them up or something, if you lose them, then a lot of times you're just lost out because you can't get them later on. This is another sampler, stitch along by the same designer. The lady's name is Juanita Martel, and her group is Landon Reagan. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that. LANDEN RANGEN. Landon Reagan. 18 count ivory, and I'm using DMC thread. She's put this one out and had like 8 different colorways. I chose this one because it's really pretty and colorful. That's only part 1, I think. Maybe part 2. Not really sure. I'm going to look at this one carefully soon and make sure I've got all the parts in there. I think I do. Or have them working down, or, print them. And if I can get that done, then I will, follow up with it and keep going. But this is another sal. This one may just be a give up. I have the sal here. I mean, the pattern here. So I don't know. Maybe I'll do it. It's from a group. It's from a lady called... I don't even know what the name of the sal is, but and I can't remember the woman's name. And but I'm doing a 20 count vintage country mocha with DMC, and I just got it's a diagonal sal, kind of like the twisted rainbow or twisted sal, but I only got just a very, very little right there at the beginning. And then it just keeps going, gets bigger and bigger as it goes. I mean, I like it. I don't know. I have to see how the pattern looks and make a decision. Number 58. This is the Four Seasons sal by oh, okay. This is number 59. I guess 58 must be in the wrong place. This is the Fruit of Plenty by Modern Folk Embroidery. I worked on this till I think the middle of the year. I got about half of it done, and then I don't know what happened to me. I think I got involved in doing something else, because this one is a lot of stitching each month. I mean, I enjoyed doing it. And I'm doing this on 32 count light taupe Lagana with DMC 232 and 3750. And I have actually worked on it a few times this year. I'll probably put in a couple thousand stitches in it this year at least. So there's where I'm at. It's really, really nice. I like that. So I'm sure I'll probably work on it again this year some more. It feels good to work on some of the older ones. And this one is the Four Seasons Sal by Modern Folk Embroidery. And I didn't get much done on this. This is done on 20 count or 18 count Ada with DMC 820. And I have just got just a little bit done at the top. That's all I got done. I like it, but I'm sure I'll work on it eventually. It'll call my name one day. This is the Mystery Sal 2022 from Modern Folk Embroidery. And this is done on 40 count Country Mocha with SO38 from Silks For You, which you can't buy the ones that begin with the S anymore in Silks For You. I don't think they have them anymore. That was one of the first ones I bought, back in probably 2017. And here's how far I've gotten. I've gotten quite a bit of this one done. Still a long way to go, but it's pretty. I do enjoy stitching on this one. So. Now I'm trying to think how I'll do next year if I don't do any sales, which that's what I want to do is not do any sales. But man, when they start coming out, like they say, oh, here's this mystery stitch along, and this one, and it's like I just get like, I gotta have it, I gotta do it, I gotta do it. Of course, it depends on what it is because no time like the present. Modern Folk Embroidery. It's another stitch along. I think this is the one. Yeah, this is the one from last year, and so I think I'm on part 2. It's pretty. This is 20 count antique white Ada. Since it's almost a full coverage, and I wanted the blank spots to actually be white. So. There's just so many to work on. That's really the main thing about having a lot of WIPs, because you have so many and you want to work on them all, but there's only so many hours that you can dedicate to stitching. And I know I probably could do more like during the day. This is the Black Band Sampler Sal by iStitch Designs. And this is on 40 count Verdal with Silks For You PRO70, which is a black. Because it's the Black Band Sampler. I didn't get much done, maybe 1 or 2 parts. But this is wide enough to where I can actually probably put maybe 3 bands on there if I put them right next to each other. Because I've got several of those band samplers I have not ever even started. And I did one on banding, and I've got some more banding for this to do some. And one's just now getting ready to end up. I seem like every year I say, well, I'm not going to buy the band sampler next year. And every year I'll end up buying it. And the last one I did was the Jade band sampler about 3 years ago, maybe. But I bought the ones that she's come out with since then. I don't know what's in my matter. This is the Burgundy Band Sampler Sal. This is on another piece of Verdal. I actually coffee tea dyed this myself. First time I've ever done that. And this is on Silks. This is with Silks For You 126. It's not a burgundy, but it is a red, and it's really pretty. I like the way it variegates. I got more done on this one than I did on the black one, but this is just wide enough for one band. But these are long. So, it's really pretty. I do need to start working on this one. Man, You know, that's the thing about WIP. That's a good thing and a bad thing about LaSalle. Because WIP parade, because you see the ones that you really want to work on. You say, oh man, I really want to work on this. $64. A Grand Verlandi. This is by Quiltify Designs. It's a 2021 sale. Now this one came out, and it's got 3 different colorways, and the motifs are different on each colorway. So you're sitting there having to decide which ones you want to do, which color you want to do. It's a green, a blue, and a red. It's the way they charted it. And I'm doing it in the blue colorway, but I'm doing it with red and gray, which I'm using 115 DMC and 535 DMC. And I've got, this is on a 40 count Victorian motto fabric. I don't know what the name was of it. I didn't write it down for some reason. But I haven't really got a lot done, but, you know, because it's big. But it's really pretty. So, one of these days, see all these sales, mystery sales. I don't know. Long Dog Sampler Sale, which is from, I'm not sure when this was. I'm doing a 16 count Ada with Silks for You PR 124. This is what it was, how it looked when I downloaded it, or when the first part came out. And this is by so-and-so. They started in the middle, so I was waiting for it to get to the top. And by then, I kind of lost my gumption. This is the one that I think that we were right in the middle of it, and then they sent the rest of the chart because they went out of business. So, which is kind of sad. You know, anytime a cross-stitch store goes out of business, it's sad. Anyway, that's all I got done, just the very top border. I think that's going to be too many for that bin. This is Fox and Rabbit 2021 Stitch Along. And this is the one, I don't even have what fabric this is or anything. Or thread. That's unusual. But this is like the travertine, or I can't think what, not travertine. It's something like that. But this is just part of the frame. I wasn't going to do this when they first came out because it seemed kind of convoluted, but then I saw some people's done, and I thought, oh, that's so pretty, so I downloaded the parts, and then, of course, got it started. What am I going to do? That's as far as I got with it, though. This is the 2017. This is the very first Fox and Rabbit, which then it was, of course, linen threads. And I'm doing this on a pink Ada with assorted DMC as I choose as I go. And I got more done on this one than I did on the last one, but still, you know, this is a big sampler. This is part 1 and 2, and that little line down on the left on this side is the beginning of part 3. So I just started choosing colors I liked, and that's as far as I got. Here's another stitch along. This is the Linen Threads 2019 sale. And this one is the one that's got the big peacock in the center. And I'm doing this on 18 count vintage country mocha with Victorian motto, most sale, threadworks, and DMC. So far, that's what I've got. And I got the peacock done, which that was really, really fun stitching that thing. And then part of the border. So. And I've seen this one finished, and every time I see one finished, I think it's beautiful, but I've never finished one of them, and I've started most of them. Not every one. I haven't started all of them, but I have. All my bags are kind of falling over. There we go. That's better. The 2018 sale from Linen and Threads. This is on 18 count, 8 of platinum and assorted sulky threads. And I just got the first part done. I don't even know if I got the whole first part done or not. That's what I got done. So it was fun stitching that with sulky. I like using sulky on 18 count especially. It looks really nice. The Secret Garden Summer Labyrinth Sal by Carolyn Manning. Now the next few are going to be sals. Like the last few has been sals. There's going to be some sals here from Carolyn Manning, Tempting Tangles, Ship's Manor. And this one is done on 18 count dime for cross stitch fabric with DMC. It's really pretty. I'd love to do it, but it's a lot of color changing, but it's pretty. I need to see if I got all the parts in this bag here. I might have, because it's pretty. The pages are pretty thick. These are usually 6 to 8 parts. These kind of sales are. This is Catch the Wind Sal by Tempting Tangles. Now, Tempting Tangles, they do. They still doing a lot of sales. And I actually did one last year and finished it. This is on 18 count 8 from Die for Cross Stitch and the call for Ship's Manor Floss. Tempting Tangles and Ship's Manor did kind of like a collaboration. She did the pattern, he did the floss. He might have some fabric for it, but this is, I didn't use the fabric if they did. That's just part 1. I don't know where I got this little needle minder. I hope it's not making a mark on my fabric. That would not be a good thing. Nope. I just had my thread wound around it. This is Enjoy the Sunshine Sal by Tempting Tangles. And this is on 32 count Lugana Lemon by Be Stitch Me and the call for Dinky Eyes threads. And I didn't get very far on this one either, but it's going to be pretty when it's done. See, these are the ones I'm going to start, like, once I finish the Bands of Variation, I'm going to pick one of these sals similar like this and take it out and just work on it until it's done. That's a lot of color changing on that one too. But it does make it really pretty when it's like that. That's the thing about like Rosewood Manor. I have a bunch of hers, but you know, I've never done any of hers either because all that color changing. It's like back in the day, back when I first started stitching, backstitch was king, you know. And everything had backstitch to do definition. It made the designs really, really pretty, but man, I hated doing backstitch. I still don't like it. But there's not as much backstitching patterns nowadays as there was back then. Every now and then you'll come across one that's pretty backstitch heavy. This is Solitude. It's another mystery sampler by Tempting Tangles. And it's on 32 count ivory and the call for Dinky Dyes. And let's see what I got going on here. Oh, this is the one that's a band sampler. I think it might be 1 and 2, part 1 and 2. So, that's pretty. Yeah, a lot of color changes on that. But I'll do it. I can do it. $74. Swans and Shears by Tempting Tangles. And it's on 16 count 8 dime for cross stitch and call for DMC. I like me some DMC. This one's really pretty. I like that. I need to. I really want to do that. What I might do is pick the one that I've got the most done on next and finish it. Which that might be a Ship's Manor one. You'll see in a minute. Because I think Ship's Manor is the next designer. The Queen's Medal. This is Tempting Tangles. And the thing about this one, the way it was designed, well, no, it's not this one I'm thinking of. But I thought it was designed kind of like the mandalas, the way they come out, and then there's a lot of space on the side, and then in the middle is up toward the top. It's hard to get that right. This is 28 count, 2/2 with DMC. That's all I got on my card. Oh boy, I made a big. I bet there's 20 stitches in that. That's all I got done. Oh my gosh. I think this is one that's actually 25 parts. Let me see if it says on here, if I got the page that tells. Yeah, this has got 25 parts. Most of hers have 16 parts, and they come out every 2 weeks. But every time she announces a new one, I kind of look to see what, you know, she shows of the design to see if maybe I might want to stitch it, because I really liked stitching hers. This is Quakers in Holland. No, this is God in My Heart. This is a companion piece to the one I did a couple of years ago called God in My Garden. Well, it's probably more than a couple of years, because I was showing that on my when I was making videos before, back in 20 and 21. This is 32 count light blue Lagana with Victorian motto. I subbed the DMC for Victorian motto. And I haven't got very far on this one either, but it's really pretty. And this is just a 16. I thought that was the back for some reason. That's not. This is just a 16 part one. She usually has some backstitch in hers. Some of them's more backstitch than others, but it's not too bad if the backstitch is on, like, just goes on the fabric, not over top of other stitching. Which I can still do that, but, you know, it's not as fun. Not as fun. They want these tags want to get wound up together on these bags. Well, there we go. I didn't want to rip it off. 77 is, this is Quakers in Holland by Tempting Tangles. This is 32 count lamb's wool Jobelin with DMC. And I got quite a bit of, I got the first 4 and started on number 5. Or maybe that's the whole number 5. So, that's pretty. I think at the bottom there's like windmills and houses and stuff, and I think that's not quite as pretty as the top part. That's the only problem with, that's one of the main problems with mysteries, because you don't never know, you know, if you're gonna really like it when it's all out. Wildflower Woodland Quaker Sow by Tempting Tangles. Now I really think this is pretty. 32 count antique white with DMC. And I don't know what's on the bottom of this one. I can't remember, but I don't know why I quit working on it. I might have just got involved doing other WIPs. And just got to where I just didn't pick it up, you know. And this is the Verlandi Mystery Giza. Oh no, this isn't. This is another Tempting Tangles. Oh, Springtime Easter Delight from Tempting Tangles. And it's 28 count antique white with DMC. This is another one that's really pretty. But it's got words. I've started on one of the words. Which it's okay. I mean, I guess it's all right. This is a 28 count Monaco with DMC. It's pretty. So look at the little bumblebees and the dragonflies. And there's a butterfly and a bunny. And lots of flowers. I like that. I'm not much into doing this Easter, you know, like with the bees. I mean, with bunnies and all that kind of stuff. I find them sometimes a little too cartoonish, but this isn't really cartoonish. It's pretty. Now this one is Verlanden Mystery Sal Giza from Martina Wienberg. 32 count antique white Jobelin and the Call for DMC. And I don't know if I got it all in here or not, but I've got it all on my computer. I made sure I had them all. And I haven't got very much done. This is just part of part one. Haven't even got to the darn motifs yet. So, I don't know why I didn't do more of that. Usually with Martina Wienberg, so, you know, Wienberg designs, I would like stitch a lot more than that on there. Who knows? As my family always said, I've slept since then. This is Winter Quicker Sal by Wienberg Designs. Now this is one that, I don't know, color and cotton, prairie dust, 40 count fabric, and sulky white. And I'm not sure. I don't know if it's the fabric, the thread, or what. This fabric's kind of slubby too. But I seem like I had such a hard time getting the thread, I mean the stitches to look good, but looking at them now, they look fine. Of course, I haven't got them under my magnifier. That would make a difference probably on what they look like, but there's that. It's pretty. I had a hard time. I really wanted to have a darker fabric to, at the time I didn't have anything darker. And to make that white just stand out. But it does, you can see it good. And it's got like Christmas trees and animals, and I'll just give you a little glimpse. See the trees at the top, and they're in, of course, different colors than the white. All the other motifs are in white. But I just never finished it. It just aggravated me, and I thought, I hope it's not this fabric that I don't like, because I've got a lot of her fabric that I bought. I was in the club there for maybe 2 years, and I got a lot of her 40 count. But most people say, oh, I love color and cotton fabric, so maybe it's just that thread. '82. This is a Quaker stitch along by Wienberg. This came out like 2008. And I'm doing this on I'm not really sure of the fabric. Possibly a 32 count Jobelin, cream or ivory with the Call for DMC. Now, generally hers are all DMC. She does have some that she's dyed thread for. But not many. I think only one that I know of, and that's one I haven't even started. I've got it, but I had issues getting the thread and stuff from her. This is a really long one. This is one of my first ones. This one and the big Verlanden one I got hanging in my den or living room. Those alphabets are all eyelet stitches. First time I made eyelets, and I didn't know that you were supposed to like pull the center, and so they're not pulled. You see how what I mean? But I think they still look good. So I didn't realize you were supposed to make like a little hole in the center, and so when I get back to it, I'm going to do it just like I did these, because I'm not going to change it now, because all those that's on there, it would look kind of weird. My bin is full and I still got about half of this bin to go. This is Faith, Hope, and Love Salve by Fox and Rabbit. This is the one from last year. I'm using 20 count antique white Ada with hand-dyed fibers and Victorian motto threads. I've just chose as I went along. I'm probably about halfway done. A lot of light coming in my window. And there's light. I got my light on because it's so dreary today. So I don't know if that's helping or hurting. Let's see if that makes it any better. But this is the one that I've got the most done on as far as the Fox and Rabbits. I haven't even started this year's. I really like it, but haven't even started yet. I've been so busy on that Jan Hatman. That thing is really stitch intensive. 84. Be Happy Now. This is cross stitched by Verbena. Yeah, let's see. I know I got a. Thought I had a card in here, but maybe not. It looks like this is on 18 or 20 count. Probably 18 count Ada with the call for DMC. I did work on that some this year. I guess I could show you what it looks like. That's what it looks like. I always enjoyed her little designs. They're pretty and they were really inexpensive, like maybe $2-3, you know, when I got them. I think there might be somewhere you can still get them. She doesn't have her shop anymore. You know, she's a Russian person, and with all the things that's been going on, you know, like sanctions and whatever's going on there, we couldn't buy from her store for a long time, and then I think I saw them somewhere, but I'm not sure. And this one is Pink Sparrow Sampler by Brenda Gervais. I'm doing this on a Victorian motto fabric. 40 count with call for threads. I did change up maybe 1 or 2 threads because of it fading into the fabric. But I haven't really got a lot done. Let me try to show you the picture, which I'm sure a lot of people know what this looks like because it is, you know. I know that's kind of glary, but I hate taking everything out of the darn bag. That's all I got done so far. And that's one that's really not very big, so it really shouldn't take a long time to finish that. Oh, I would really love to get it finished too. I would love it. 87 is First Offerings. It's a freebie by Blackbird Design. So I say to myself one day, I need to do another Blackbird. I need something that's really fast. And I had this freebie. It's 40 count linen platinum with Gentle Arts Black Crow. So I said, I think this one's really small. I could finish it in no time. And that's true. I probably could finish it in no time if I would actually do some stitching on it. Got that much done. I think it's, you know, it's just a border with some alphabet, I think. I'll give you a quick glance at it. It is a freebie after all. And a bird. Of course, a black bird. And some stars. It's quite cute. So, maybe toward the end of the year when I'm saying I need some finishes, I'll get something like that out and finish it. The Token by Long Dog. And I'm doing this on 40 count vintage bisque by Lakeside Linens, and Buckeye Scarlet as my thread. I have any Buckeye Scarlet? Yeah, I got enough in there. Now, I haven't got much done on this. I just barely got a start, I think. Yeah, just a line at the top. But that's one of those kind of designs that, yeah, I really like. It's like a Quaker. Let me see. I got the design here. We're doing all those, showing you all those stitch alongs. Didn't have pictures, and then I got kind of out of the habit of showing you the picture. It says a token of love. Yeah, I could do that and put mine and my husband's. Hey, that's cool because it says CAB and MSD. Well, my husband's initials are actually CAB. That's pretty cool. Coleman Alexander Brown. I love my husband's name. It's a unique name. You don't see many men named Coleman. When I met him, he said that everybody used to call him Shorty. Well, you know, when we met, now he's not this tall now because he's got really bad knees. And so it's caused him to shrink down a little bit. But he was 6'2", weighed like 350, 380 pounds. It's like, I remember when I was single, after I was newly single, and my friends was trying to help hook me up with somebody. And she said, well, what kind of guy are you attracted to? What kind of guy are you interested in? I said, well, I want a guy that's 6'2", 6'4", bald, and 350 pounds. And she looked at me and says, you're looking for a guy like that? I said, yep. And that's exactly what I found. He wasn't that bald back then, but he is now, and he shaves his head, so that's pretty sexy. Even for an old guy. This is Le Jardin Pleasure, the pleasure of my garden, I think, or my garden of pleasure. This is Long Dogs. This is 22 count white with sulky threads. And I haven't got very far on this, but I'm going to. This is giving me motivation. I'm going to stitch and stitch and stitch all these. I'm going to make next year the year WIPs. Something like that. I will decide exactly what it's going to be, and because the year I did the year Quakers, which was 2020, I did year Quakers, and then, you know, of course, I really didn't change my stitching that much because I stitched a lot of Quakers anyway. But this one's going to be spin my wheel and do WIPs, and I'm gonna have some blank spots on there so I can have place for some new starts. I don't know how many blank spots I'll have on there right now. It's my wheels, I got numbered because all mine are in bags. They're numbered. And I got it up to 200, so I have a few that I don't have WIPs on. But right now I've got 195 WIPs. So that's, when I did that, I had 189. So my new starts are getting less and less, but, you know, that's fine too. But I might add some more to it. You never know. This is This is Abstract Landscape by 2x2 Stitch Art. And I don't have a picture to it, which is kind of, I like it better with the picture because I like to look at it, you know, and see what I, you know, as I'm going. It says 20 count sand, Ada and the Call for DMC. I haven't got a lot done. I thought I had more than this done on it, but you know how it goes. And this is all I got done. And it's a full coverage. It's not big. It's a full coverage though. I think it's only like, I mean, there's a lot of pages to it because it's big. I mean, it's, you know, they're printed big. But here it is. It is 150 by 150, which is not super small, but it's not really real big either. And this is the way it is. It's not like confetti. So. So I need to get into that one again. All right. 91 is 1863 Verlandi Sampler by Antique Needlework and Sampler Magazine. This was the 2010 spring issue, number 58. And I did a thread conversion to Victorian Motto, which I think I even changed up some of the colorway. But, you know, I may change it. Who knows what I'll do when I stitch it. But here's a picture of it. I should just do it how it shows it. Who knows? Who knows what I ended up doing? Oh, 40 count linen mallow. I don't know if I told you that or not, but I don't think I did. And this is what I've got done so far. I think it looks good. I haven't stitched on this in a good while. Let's see if I got a date on here. When I started. Nope, no start date. But it's been a while. It's been a while. Several years. I'm getting down on this bin. 92 Southern Land by Modern Falcon. Al Forrest embroidery. I'm doing this on 40 count Vertical Silk Weaver Pecan, and I'm doing the Modern Folk embroidery, or why am I saying Modern Folk embroidery? Al Forrest embroidery, because embroidery's on the end. I do it with their threads. And here's what the design looks like. I barely got a start on this one too. This may be one I have in my Market RXP app. I bought me a stand for my iPad, which I'm using right now, which I really like it for this. But I bought it to use in the living room when I'm stitching from my iPad, because the way I sit, and I have my magnifying lamp sitting right in front of me because I use a Q-snap. And so the lamp's right here, and then my iPad's right here, and the arm keeps me from seeing well. So I bought this stand to sit there so I can have it at a different angle. So it works good, and I'm going to start trying to load some of my patterns, the ones that are like paper patterns, you know, like take a picture of them, put them in iBooks, because I was watching Sarah from Sarah's Stitching Spot explain how to do that, and I'm going to try that and see how it works. Because I do enjoy stitching from the iPad, because you can make it big, for one thing. 93 is Sophia Neal 1832 Whilst Iris Naps. Now this one I think I got as a kit, but I'm using my own thread, I think. Yeah, I mean own fabric. 40 count linen by Victorian Motto. And it's called for fat thread, but I think I got the thread and the design, the pattern in like a kit. There's the design. Really pretty. I got a small start. And here's the threads. I always keep them in baggies. I just don't know about the, what you call it, floss drops. That's so pretty. This right here is probably, could be like on my scissor file, but I think it's really pretty on there. And I got just a little bit of this done, I'm sure. It must be really huge, because this is a big piece of fabric. I started in the middle at the top, so I would get it in the middle of this fabric. But this is a half yard of fabric. And it's 40 count, so that looks really good though. I like it. I've seen people that have so many huge finished samplers. And I just think, how in the world? But you know, it's my own fault because I stitched so many different things. If I stitched on one thing for a good length of time, I probably could finish it. Just like doing that Jan helmet. I bet you there's going to be, I don't know, 40,000 stitches in that thing by the time it's all said and done. I put in an average of 1,500 to 2,000 a week in it, and it's about a year off, 49 49 parts. Now, not every one of them is that stitch heavy, but a lot of them are. This is All Souls Verlanden by Quiltify Designs. This is on 40 count Verdal by Dying for Cross Stitch. And the thread is Navy Blue by Dying for Cross Stitch. Which the thread is, navy is really dark. It looks almost black. I've got a pink in here too to maybe do some, oh, you can see the variegation of that. That's pretty. I think this is they don't say so, it must be cotton. But I got this pink. I'm not sure if I'm going to do any accents with that, or maybe a different color, or maybe just do it all in blue. I just don't really know for sure at this juncture, because I'm really kind of in the beginning, so. But this fabric is really pretty. It's a purplish, pinkish. It's really pretty. Of course, that looks pretty black. That thread looks really black. It looks black to me even. So. This could be considered like a Halloween because it's got all those skulls on there. Not quite an hour yet, and I got like 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 more to go. 95 is Royal Peacocks by Al Forrest Embroidery. This one is, you can see the right there. It's kind of hard to tell the color, what color it's going to be, but it's really pretty. And I'm doing this on 40 count Verdal by Dying for Cross Stitch and Al Forrest overdyed threads. Now this is a real pretty fabric too. It's like got green and pink in it. It's really pretty. And the thread, and I've only got just a little start, but I did just start this. Let's see, where am I? Okay, here it is. 7/5/24. So it's been a year. It's been a year. I just worked on it one day, which basically just to get a start. Because last July, I decided I'm going to start something every day in my birthday month, which I didn't start something every day, but I did have, I think I had like 20 starts that month. I'm not sure a lot, but I kind of fizzled out before I got to 30 or 31 starts. I've slowed down on my starts. I was doing a lot more, and I have a lot more I really want to start, but I got to calm that stuff down because I need to work on some of these whips. Cat Lovers. This is by Jardin Privé. I started this on July the 24th of 24. And this is, I would start this for my brother and his husband because they love cats. I picked this out, and you know, it's right up my alley. It's a Quaker, and I think they would love that. And, but then I didn't get much done on it. And then they saw my Santa and they said, I want your Santa. So I'm making them, you know, making them that Santa. 40 count Verdal by Dying for Cross Stitch, call for DMC. I know you can tell that I really love Dying for Cross Stitch fabric. And I'm not buying a lot of fabric now, but I did buy her fabric of the month last month. And I usually will get 2 pieces, one in the 20 count and one in this 40 count Verdal. That is so pretty though. Look at that. Those stitches look so good. And the color, her colors are so nice. I may have to do this for myself. I'm not a cat person, but I might can find a little dog to put there. Because I got my little dog, you know. My little Pepper. She's my sweetheart. Even if sometimes I want to drop kick her. I don't hit her. I don't abuse my animals, so please don't think I do. But when she starts that barking, and she's got that real shrill bark, and it just like goes right through my eardrum. And she barks and barks, and sometimes, especially if she sees a cat out the back door, or sometimes just somebody walking down the road, or here's a car, she's just like, and she will not shut up for nothing. We do have one of those collars that you can put on them that it's got 3 modes. You can make a beep, a vibration, or a shock. Now, I'll put that on her sometimes when she gets real barky, where she barks at every little noise. And I've never had to shock her, and but I don't think I would anyway, because I don't want to hurt her. But I do, just beeping, just go beep beep beep, and she calms down. And now all I gotta do is put that collar on her. Most of the time she won't even bark. She might go ruff, ruff, like that real low. And so if I put a collar on her one day, then she's good for a few weeks, and then I have to put it on her again for a day. But she don't like it, I guess. But that's the only thing she does that really, I mean, she was hard to train as a puppy, as far as getting her the way I wanted, because she was like chewing everything up, and oh my gosh, she was a terrible chewer. And even up to, say, maybe a year ago, she started calming down. She's 4 now, so she's a good adult dog. But now if I drop something in the floor, or if she finds a piece of paper or anything, she brings it right to me and gives it to me. Because she knows she's been a good girl and she might get a treat. Okay, back to the WIP parade for my little tangent. This is Quaker Seasons of Friendship. And this is by Crown and Thistles Designs. And I may as well not take it out of the bag, because that's one of them shiny pictures. It's hard to see it, but you can get this for dying to stitch. It's in Virginia Beach. Now, as far as I know, they still have it, because I think they had the rights. They print them at the shop, and when you buy them, and they send them to you. Now, I'm doing this with, it's a Verdal. I don't think I've got it written down. I thought I had a card, but I don't see one in here. But I'm doing it with Mrs. Sadis, Darling. And I think this may be a silk weaver, but I'm not 100% sure. But it's a really pretty pink with white modeling. I haven't got anything done. I started this in July 14th, 2019. So it's been like, what, 6 years. Oh my gosh, that's old for a WIP. Well, I got a bunch that's old like that, so. But one of these days I'll take a hankering to do it, and I'm going to do it. Or I'll spin it on my wheel. Alrighty, here is 98, which is Elizabeth Weston, 1830, by Hands Across the Sea. I started this 9/25/2020. And this is a Mama Joan bag. I don't have very many bags like this, but I really like her bags. I haven't bought a bag in several years. I just bought those. There's like little things here. With as many WIPs as I have, I said there's just no way I could have one of these nice bags for every WIP. Think about how much money that would be. 200 times, say, $50. That's a lot of money in bags. But Hands Across the Sea. Here's what she looks like. Very pretty. Very, very pretty. And I'm doing this with Wild Honey 37 count linen with a call for AVAS. And I've gotten just a little bitty start on this thing. Even though it's been five years since I started it, that's all I got done. A little bit of leaf in the corner. Well, I didn't even, last time I looked at it, I didn't even see this little light colored berry there. See, that's what I hate, is it's like, this is the call for fabric, or what they said to do it on. And one of them, I think there was more than one, but this is one of them. And then that but on here it shows it really white looking, and you can see it. You can see those little berries, but on mine, no. I don't understand that. That's one thing I really hate, is when the fabric, when the thread fades out on that fabric. Really, really irritates me. So sometimes when that happens, I'll go and change it to a different shade where it will be at least seeable. And here's another, this is another Mama Joan bag, yep. This is the bag she actually created for this pattern. And this is Harriet Salt by Hands Across the Sea. I started this 9/11/19. And I have still not got much done on this one either. This is a pretty big one. I do like the booklets, but man, I prefer stitching from a PDF pattern. Because I can either print it or I can put it on my app. 40 count linen. That's all it says, 40 count linen. And Suave Alger, 943. I don't even know what linen this is. This may be linen I got from, I might have got it from Sassy Jacks, but I don't know. I can't believe I didn't write down the linen name. That's not like me. Well, yeah. It was a few years ago. This even came, yeah, I must have got the kit with the linen and stuff, because this even came with a little needle minder, which I have on my cart. All right, that was the last one for this bin. So I'm going to stop it right now, put all those back on the shelf, put the next shelf in my bin, and start again. All right, see you in a minute.